Relying on an X, new details on Jill Duggar Dillard's stillborn baby, Isla Marie, have surfaced. The 33-year-old mother has gone through a lot since last April, when she had a miscarriage. She enjoys being outside with her family, especially her husband and children, but she never stops to honor her daughter. To see Jill's most recent post on Isla Marie, continue reading. After suffering a terrible loss in April, Jill broke the news on social media. "We are sad to announce the stillbirth of our lovely daughter, Isla Marie Dillard," the former Counting On star stated. It was 4 months into Jill's pregnancy when she found out her baby had died, according to her. She went on to say that they had planned a lot of things for their kid, but that their plans ended in tragedy. Nevertheless, Jill's faith remained unwavering in the face of her tragedy. At Isla Marie's funeral, you could also see most of the Duggar family. New information on the last resting place of Isla Marie was given by Jill Duggar Dillard in an Instagram post. The Counting On alum claims that they were notified by the cemetery that the marker for Isla Marie is prepared and has been set up. As a result, Jill and Derek took their daughter to the grave with flowers they had selected themselves. "Isla Marie Dillard, you are our little girl and will always be loved. I hope you enjoy the flowers." Jill captioned, "This is so kind. In heaven, you will all be reunited with her and Jesus in a most glorious way. What a lovely stone you chose for her. Even after all these years, my mom and I still visit my sister's grave to lay flowers. Love and strength are being sent your way. With the exception of the flowers, her marker is stunning. You are loved, Jill." Wow, Jill, it's stunning. It breaks my heart that you have had to go through this loss. You'll get to see her again? How wonderful. After a lengthy journey, Jill and her family have returned home. The former Counting On star chronicled their brief trip to Tennessee earlier this month. She took her family to all the hot spots, particularly the restaurants. The newlyweds also decided to visit Jason and Maddie Grace's wedding in Tennessee. This time around, Jill Duggar Dillard is recording the happenings in her garden. Just like everyone else, she has been enjoying autumn and has even shared her pumpkin pie recipe. Famous for her roles in the popular TLC shows 19 Kids and Counting On, Jill Duggar Dillard has been a prominent figure in the Duggar family for quite some time. Many of Jill's admirers have been following her path since she was a teenager, and she has shared much of her life's ups and downs with them as a dedicated wife, mother, and now author. One part of her life, nevertheless, has been secret up until very recently. The subject of her daughter's burial site, which Jill Duggar had kept mainly secret for years, was revisited in an emotional and touching update. In part, her choice to address this delicate matter is a step toward healing, and in part, it facilitates her ability to relate to others who have gone through similar tragedies. In the wake of the devastating death of their newborn baby, Jill and her family have been through a profound emotional and spiritual journey, and this update provides a unique peek into this process. Let's go into the narrative of Jill's devastating loss, how her religion has been a source of strength, and the importance of this latest update as she contemplates her daughter's memory and tomb. In 2019, Jill and Derek Dillard broke the devastating news to their followers that they had experienced a miscarriage. The couple was devastated to hear the news since they were looking forward to the arrival of their third child. They had previously had 2 boys, Israel and Samuel. The news that their unborn child no longer had a heartbeat reached Jill when she was around 12 weeks along in her pregnancy. A name with deep symbolic significance, River Bliss, was chosen by the parents for their kid. The name River was chosen by Jill and her husband because they felt that their baby's existence was like a river. Brief yet full of meaning, they said in a blog post at the time. The notion that their daughter was in paradise, enjoying everlasting peace and pleasure, provided consolation despite the anguish, so they selected Bliss for her. Although Jill felt compelled to keep her audience in the dark about her loss, she felt compelled to do so in order to shed awareness on the often silent sorrow that comes with miscarriage. Though it was a dark period in her life, Jill was able to find solace in the experiences of other families and women who had also endured terrible loss. Jill recently shared further information on the location of River Bliss's burial, a sacred and serene area where the Dillard family may pay tribute to and remember their daughter. Since leaving the Counting On program, Jill has delicately managed her public and private lives. So sharing this update was not an easy choice for her. but she knew her fans needed to know about this stage of her recovery. Jill elaborated that she and Derek had great sentimental investment in the serene, natural site they had selected for River's last resting place. It's a place where we can come together as a family, pray, and reflect on River's short life, Jill said in an Instagram post that accompanied several peaceful photographs of the location. The update was sent as the family observed the anniversary of the loss, serving as a somber reminder that sadness, while evolving with time, never really disappears. She elaborated that River's last resting place is not a cemetery per se, but a private site where a monument has been erected in her honor. Jill finds solace in a Bible scripture and a little plaque that bears River's name. The verse Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you." This poem expresses Jill's belief that God was with them throughout the catastrophe and is still guiding them now. As they grieve the death of a child, whether via miscarriage, stillbirth, or another tragic event, many parents find solace in erecting a monument or locating a sacred burial site. Even though their baby's existence was brief, it gives them a concrete method to remember them and pay homage to their memories. Nothing had changed for Jill. Jill spoke about how having a special place for River helped her recover in her peace. It brought her a sense of peace to be able to visit River's burial site, she wrote. Even though we were never able to hold her, it's a place where our family can go to remember her and feel close to her. Concerning the choice to make this information public, she was likewise forthcoming. Jill had been considering sharing this aspect of their lives with fans for months, considering the vulnerability it would entail. The decision to share River's tale and her subsequent recovery process came from a place of compassion, nevertheless. Her words carried the weight of knowing how many families and women had experienced such a devastating loss. I hope they have the support they need, understand that it's normal to feel sad, and remember that there are ways to celebrate their baby's life. It was no surprise that Jill's followers showered her with love and support after her touching update. Victims' tales of loss were shared, condolences were offered, and words of support were sent by many on social media. Anyone who has followed Jill's story for any length of time knows that this update served as a reminder of her faith, fortitude, and tenacity while dealing with tragedy. I appreciate you being so open and honest about a private part of your life, Jill, one admirer said. Those of us who have been there appreciate it very much. You are an inspiration, and River's legacy will endure. I understand the difficulty of going through such a loss, but you have demonstrated that there is hope beyond this dark period, another supporter said. What a blessing to have a location to remember River by. Responding, Jill thanked everyone for their condolences and said that she and her family had shared a common experience of loss. The messages from so many of you who've gone through this have touched my heart, she said. I know that grief looks different for everyone, but I hope sharing our story can help others in their journey. Faith, family, and a supportive community have helped Jill get through the difficult times after her loss. In addition to becoming an advocate for families who have had a miscarriage or other pregnancy loss, she is still devoted to raising her children and carrying on with her ministry work. A part of Jill's continuing quest to inspire hope in others that there is light to be found even in the darkest of times includes providing updates on River's resting place.